I'm doing entertainment, pop culture, things like that. And right here, we have Twitter. What do you see? Well, just some text there. And also on the side, Amber Heard is trending on February 2nd, 2023. And honestly, a lot of it's positive from what I saw. So let's take a look, see what people are thinking right now. First up, the guy who worked with Amber Heard and uploaded the video of them dancing made a live talking about her in Spanish. Since I speak that language, I will translate what he say. Amber was very kind. She hired me as her assistant. Okay, there you have it. What do we think, folks? By the way, 24,000 views. Not so bad as far as that. Of course, looks like a young guy, probably attracted to Amber, and she hired him. I mean, I don't think he'd have a reason to say anything negative about her. As people go through their lives and they meet people in actuality, not online and things like that, most of the time, you'll have a good impression if you just meet someone. Same thing with Evan Rachel Wood. She gives off a great impression backstage, as a musician, things like that. She smiles, thanks people for liking her music. You're not really meeting her. You're not meeting her whole personality, everything that makes her her. You don't meet the fake FBI letter when she shakes hands with you and thanks you for listening to a song. Same thing with Amber. Obviously, they're dancing, they're having fun. There's no way to get negativity out of this. And here it is a little bigger with over 100,000 views, which I gotta say is not that bad for just a little silly clip. This person, Danny, says everyone was misinformed and was making jokes about Heard. I knew this day of trying to revise history was coming. Wow, what a huge lie intended to deflect personal feelings of guilt. The evidence for Amber Heard was all there in the trial. No excuses. I stand with Amber. Now, I think some of us saw opposite evidence, and I think the vast majority saw opposite evidence. I know, seems like a broken record. This thing is from 9 hours ago. So, if I say, I give up, leave Amber alone, ignore Amber, she'll go away, these people keep growing and growing and growing. Then you know what happens? They influence more of the general public. Then you know what happens? Instead of like a 90%, 10% split for Johnny versus Amber, it kind of grows to 15 for Amber, 20 for Amber, 30 for Amber. And before you know it, if you leave Amber alone and don't express your opinion, then Aquaman 2 comes out and these people have grown and influenced things. Now, all of a sudden, they're going to see Aquaman 2 twice and 3 times because they stand with Amber. That's why I'm going to keep covering it. Of course, along with other things that come up, but we're going to keep covering it. And here's another one of the same guy. Okay, wait, it's actually the same video with one little extra second. And I gotta say, look at it. The guy looks very attracted to her. Of course, he's not gonna say anything negative. Regardless of whether you believe Amber Heard or not, which you should, Johnny Depp is every phobic you can possibly imagine in the book. So, what does what this person's saying have to do with Johnny and evidence whatsoever? Nothing. It's character smear, which you see, especially, I gotta say, over there in the Western Hemisphere. Racial, phobia, all these things, they can't stick to the issues. Just stick to the issues, the evidence, and the facts. Why do Amber Heard supporters always have their replies off? Maybe it's because of people like this. Okay, wait, I guess it's not pro Johnny. So Amber's trending right now, February 2nd, 2023, with all positivity so far. So I guess this person's pointing out one of the trolls, you could say, the Depp community has, because there are some, absolutely. There aren't a majority of trolls and bots and things like that. It's probably maybe 5%, something like that. People who can't control their emotions. And it makes the whole community look bad, and this person's trying to make an excuse for why Amber fans shut off their comments. But the thing is, if you know you're right, if you're confident, then you could take all that negativity and just, ignore it. Because if you shut off your comments, you cut off serious debate and you cut off yourself from looking like you've got a point because it looks like you just throw up information. And if you can't respond, you're not open to having your mind changed by any evidence or anything. Depp fooled lots of people. This is the same person, by the way, but alright. And Sarah says, I would call what Amber Heard went through very serious and a big deal, but Doja had no problem mocking her R word testimony. Well, that's because the whole thing isn't about Amber. A lot of people care about Johnny, that his career was derailed by allegations with zero evidence. So I think the main disconnect with reality that people who defend Amber and Evan Rachel Wood are having is that you have to prove something happened before you could really blame the other side, before you could really punish someone. They don't understand you've got to prove things first. No one knows what happened behind closed doors, not 100%. We've got audio recordings. We know what happened some of the time, but only Amber and Johnny and Manson and Rachel Wood actually know. But we've got to make our judgment based on what we definitely know. You can't make your judgment based on what you think happened personally because of certain things that someone said. We need more. But for these people, for this side of the aisle, they don't need more. And that's the difference. Here it is again. I will say, same account, but still made the trending list. Here it is again, with over 261,000 views from 1 hour ago. And once again, blaming Doja Cat for, I forget the incident, but obviously Doja Cat is guilty of something, making fun of Amber. Looks like this guy is making fun of Johnny, I would say. He's got 88,000 followers. Doesn't look like a very serious making fun, kind of just joking around, but, still. Just recently found out that I follow, supports, and believe Amber Heard. I don't know what that means, sorry. They get into the age gap about Johnny and Amber, and I, for one, understand it. I used to not understand it, but I understand it now. Can't really say too much more about that, but I'm fine with it. Like Colonel Kurtz pointed out, when you're 22, you're not a complete fool, you're not a complete kid, you know what you're doing. All right? You get with a man who's got a lot of money, he's a movie star, you don't know everything about life. You haven't been there, you haven't lived for 2 or 3 decades as an adult dating around and things, but you have a brain. You've got 2 eyes. You're not a kid anymore. You see what's happening. You can project your possible futures. If I date my 23-year-old boyfriend with a beat up Camaro and $20 in his pocket, how is that different from dating Johnny Depp? Come on. She knew what she was doing to a certain extent, to enough of an extent to take responsibility. And that's the fact. Never forget how feminists supported Amber Heard destroying an innocent man's life. Well, this person's obviously on Johnny's side, but that's got 450,000 views. Okay, well, hey, there you go. But the point is, a lot of these, the large majority, are defending Amber right now. It's 2023, and they're not going to stop defending her. Well, there's a meme. There's one from that umbrella guy. So, okay, the thread is mixed, but I'm sure you get my drift. There's a lot of support for Amber still coming out. And if you just let it continue, go unchecked, then it can only grow. Let me know what you think down below in the comments. We're done here for now. Rant over. If you don't subscribe to the channel, I'll be pretty sad about it. But if you do subscribe, then you'll get videos and I'll be happier about it. Okay, messed it up a little bit. See you next time.